Hey guys, this is Tono. Today we're going to be talking about 2024 in Magic the Gathering and a little bit about 2025 as well. I just wanted to kind of cover what's coming up and everything like that because I haven't done it yet. I'm pretty excited for next year. There's a lot of really cool stuff that I'm looking forward to, mostly around the non kind of Universes Beyond stuff. Like you guys probably, if you've seen the channel, I've talked about Universes Beyond and how much I enjoy that. But the stuff that's like coming to, especially towards the end of the year, I am incredibly excited about. But before we get into that, make sure you do chuck us a sub. We've got mostly, 3.1% watch times coming from subscribers, 96.9% coming from not subscribers. So feel free to chuck us a sub. We're trying to get to 1,000 at the moment. So the first thing we've got coming up is going to be Ravnica Remastered. This is going to be coming out in January 12th, 2024. It's going to be reprints from 13 sets, all set on Ravnica. There's like some command sets that were like, featuring Ravnica characters as well. They're getting reprinted. Only going to be draft/collector boosters. And it's notable that it's going to be Shocklands, Cyclonic Rift, and a bunch of dual color guild stuff that's going to be reprinted as well there. I'm not going to cover it too much because this has been completely out, gone through spoiler season and everything like that already, so there's lots of really cool stuff there coming. Next up, we've got Murders at Karlov Manor. So note that it says murders, not murder. There is multiple murders happening. This is obviously the inspector dude, who I can't remember his name, and then the prime kind of suspects here in the background. So this is going to be releasing February 9th, 2024. It's a murder mystery that is set on Ravnica. It's basically when they went to go make this set, they were like designing a new plane around it, and then they decided, look, we don't need to design a new plane, we could just set it on Ravnica. It's not going to have like all the Ravnica guild stuff, although there is some of the guild leaders in there and everything, but it is set on Ravnica. So someone's committed a string of murders and some attempted murders across Ravnica, and the city is on the verge of chaos. It primarily takes place, like the start of it takes place at the Karlov Manor, and that's where they start it all, but it takes place across all of Ravnica. So there's also going to be some interesting stuff like throughout the Murders at Karlov Manor products and cards. There's going to be some clues towards something bigger, with a final reward for the most assiduous of sleuths out there. So there's going to be 12 individual puzzles across the different, whether it's the online cards, whether it's the different products, assumedly the commander sets, the clue, the stuff like that. And then there's 12 individual puzzles that end up being one overarching puzzle as well. So the different mechanics here are investigate and clue tokens. So there's lots of like detectives and stuff in there. There's also going to be a new mechanic called disguise, which is a new mechanic that interacts with face down cards. It's going to be the first set that's going to feature the play boosters, which is a mix of like the draft and set boosters. So it's kind of taking the best of like the set boosters and then making them being able to be draftable and everything. There's going to be 4 different commander decks. There's going to be collector boosters as well. Obviously there's collector boosters and everything. And then it's going to be special guests, kind of like LCI. So it's like special Karlov Manor not Karlov Manor, Ravnica guests and stuff that are going to fit the setting and everything. So some of the commander set decks, so the 4 commander decks, the first one here is going to be red, green, white. It's going to be about disguising your cards and then some big surprises. So I assume that this is going to be similar to Morph, maybe like a better version of Morph, similar to how we got like a better version of Cascade with Discover. Who knows? There's lots of interesting things they could potentially be doing here. There's going to be Revenant Recon, which is around surveilling and then resurrecting creatures as well. I'm considering this one to kind of get to combine with the white-black one from Lost Caverns of Ixalan and then build it around Amalia, to just kind of like, have the surveilling there in addition to the explore and stuff. But classic kind of blue black there. We've got green, white, blue. So this is going to be clue tokens and card advantage based on them. Not Merfolk. Originally I thought this was a Merfolk. Apparently it's not. So eventually they're going to bring in a green, white, blue Merfolk commander, but at the moment this is not going to be one. And then finally we've got Blame Game, which is a red, white, goad your foes, and then identifying suspects as well. So Then we've got Ravnica Clue Edition. So this is going to be like a kind of like a tie-in, similar kind of set. So it's Ravnica Clue Edition. It's just a box, essentially. And in it, you're going to get... it's a standalone game. It comes with 8 Jumpstart style decks, style packs. So you're going to take 2 of these, shuffle them together, and then you're going to be able to play from that. So the aim is to either solve the mystery as to who has committed the murder, or be the last one standing. So by like attacking people, you're going to be able to get evidence and stuff along those lines. So it's a combination of like Magic and Clue/Cluedo. There's also going to be a box topper, which is going to be a full art Shockland as well. So some of the different cards, there's like a Clue equipment. So this is going to be combining like equipments that you can equip onto your characters, as well as it being essentially a clue that you can sacrifice and draw cards. You've got like the different characters as well, legendary characters here. So you can see Senator Peacock, Human Advisor, artifacts you control are clues in addition to other types and stuff, and they gain like being able to sacrifice them. And then you've got like the special rooms as well, the jewel rooms. So this one is red and green, you can pay for to investigate. So it's essentially playing Magic, but like combining it with Cluedo and trying to solve like the murder and everything for it. So then we've got the Fallout set. So this is going to be releasing March 8th, apparently. It's going to be a Universes Beyond crossover with Fallout. Not a full set, more like Doctor Who with the 4 different commander decks and then collector boosters based on that. The new mechanics is going to be junk tokens, which you can sacrifice them to exile the top card of your library, and then you can play it that turn. Going to be great in my 12th Doctor deck. You've got energy coming back, you've got proliferate, you've got radiation as well, which is rad counters. So it's going to be like a debuff that you put on someone essentially. And then at the beginning of their main pre-combat main phase, if you've got any rad counters, you mill that many cards, and then for each non-land card milled that way, you lose life and a rad counter. So you can essentially like, you know, make people have to mill their cards away, and then you can take advantage of that with other different cards and stuff, and then, you know, making them lose life as well. So there's going to be the 4 different decks here. So you've got this one here, which is Scrappy Survivors, are built around Dogmeat as the face commander here, and he's going to mill cards, and then you get to return or an equipment and go fetch them from your graveyard there. Whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, you get to create junk tokens with him as well. Madison Lee, built around energy. So energy is a counter that you get to yourself, not onto a creature or anything, and then you can spend that energy for different things with the science deck. You've got Caesar, Legion's Emperor here. So this deck here is Hail Caesar. It's built around the villains and everything from Fallout. So he's going to be about sacking things, creating tokens, creating cards, like drawing cards and losing life, or dealing damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control. And then also Mr. House is going to be in this deck too, which is all around rolling. So I was only featuring like the face commanders for all of them, but I thought Mr. House was very interesting. I'm going to potentially do a whole video on him, because there is ways to be able to cheese this, where you're going to be able to create robots constantly, create robots and treasure tokens constantly, and it's a very interesting card and very thematic. We've got the Wise Mothman for the Mutant Menace one. So this is apparently built around mutate and stuff along those lines. Whenever he attacks, and each player gets a rad counter. Interesting that it says each player, so he's going to put the rad counters on yourself as well. And then whenever 1 or more non-land cards are milled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of non-land cards milled this way. So you get to be able to buff up your things based on people milling, so it's going to be around chucking out rad tokens on people. So there's also going to be, obviously, in the collector boosters, different appearances, special, so you've got like the classic kind of Pip-Boy one there. You've got like the full arts here, and then you've got like the serialized bobbleheads. They're going to have one for each of the 7 different stats in the original game. I cannot name them off the top of my head. I know luck is one, intelligence is one, strength, dexterity, and I can't remember the rest of them. And I apologize if you're expecting me to name them all, but either way, there's serialized versions of them. So then we've got Outlaws of Thunder Junction. So this is going to be releasing Q2 2024, so that's going to be between April and June. I suspect that's probably around May, I would suspect this will come out. First day villain set. So they said it's first day villain set. It's based around the villains and everything like that. And then secondary, it's going to take those villains and then put them into a wild, wild west setting. It's going to be a completely new plane called Thunder Junction. It's a frontier fantasy where outlaws come to seize their futures and make a fortune doing so. So villains from across the multiverse have come through the Omnipaths to battle it out at Thunder Junction, essentially. So some characters you can see here, you can see Oko here, you can see Rakdos, you can see Vraska, and you can see Tiny Bones here. So lots of different villains from all different kind of walks of life and all different planes as well. Then we've got Modern Horizons 3. So this is also coming out Q2 2024. The art very heavily features Eldrazi and kind of, you know, I very much suspect we're going to have some really great Eldrazi stuff in here. It's going to be a rewarding draft format with nostalgic callbacks as well. So the previous ones have featured some really heavy meta impact cards, mostly for obviously Modern, and the prints are going straight to Modern. They're going to skip Standard, similar to like the Lord of the Rings set and stuff. However, you know, there's going to be uses for them in Commander as well. And apparently it's going to feature some double face cards this time around as well, which is really cool. We've got the Assassin's Creed. So this is going to be Q3 2024. So between July and September. It's obviously going to be a crossover with Assassin's Creed. They're going to be modern legal cards as well. It's going to be a small set that isn't draftable, similar to micro sets such as Aftermath. So Aftermath did not go all that great. So I'm really hoping that there's going to be some very different kind of things in here. We'll see how it ends up kind of working out. There's going to be a new booster type with this as well, which are called Beyond Boosters. The Beyond Boosters, they're not draftable, and each booster will apparently take you on a journey or tell a story unique to that universe. So assumably, like, you know, you'll open up a Beyond booster and it will be stuff like, you know, one of the different Assassin's Creed games. I don't know which ones they're going to feature. Maybe it's Valhalla, maybe it's Brotherhood, maybe it's like, you know, the first Assassin's Creed here, you know, maybe it's Ezio or something like that. There's going to be lots of really cool stuff they could potentially pull off here. And yeah, not draftable, so you just get the pack and it's got like the cards in it based on whatever that journey is for that one. It's going to contain new cards as well as reprints as well. I don't know if the reprints are going to be like, you know, themed around Assassin's Creed, similar to how they like theme like the Warhammer decks around Warhammer and like with new art and stuff. We'll see. So then we've got Bloomburrow. Bloomburrow is probably the set that I'm most excited for. I will say that right now. I'm going to try and use this to get my wife into Magic. It is right up her alley. So this is going to be a new plane coming out Q3 2024, a new plane called Bloomburrow. There's no humans on this plane, and it's going to be anthropomorphic animals. So squirrels, rabbits, frogs, rats, etc. They're animals, not animal humanoids. So you can see here, this is a mouse. He's not like a humanoid mouse. He's not like, you know, a Jarny or something like that, which is a humanoid cat. He's literally just a mouse with a cool freaking leaf cape and everything. They also maintain their normal size. So you can see he's a mouse. He's a mouse knight. You can see he's got a sword. He's got a cape. He's got his armor on. But he's not like, you know, a normal sized one against a human or something like that. He's not kind of, you know, scaled up or anything. He's literally just a mouse. And he gets to go and fight. I love this. The animals wear clothing, they talk, and they wield magic as well. The storyline is going to be based on you getting a ragtag team of adventurers and banding together to go on an important quest. I'll be very interested if they bring back like the class system stuff from Forgotten Realms, or no, it was no, it's Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate had like the class deck. I'll be interested if they bring like, you know, the cleric, rogue, etc., build out your party kind of stuff. Would be really cool there. All right, next up we've got Duskmourn, House of Horrors. So this is going to be releasing Q4 2024. I know the initial thing said Q3. It's been fixed apparently. They like, you know, didn't put Q4 on there for some reason. So this is going to be between October and December. It's going to be a new plane, and this plane is one giant haunted mansion. So it's a modern looking world. It's a modern horror. So, you know, The other kind of horror sets are all based in like, 1800s kind of horror and stuff. This is more like, modern day kind of brought up. So it's based off like 70s to 90s kind of horror films, slasher films, and the whole haunted house trope. The walls are alive, etc., etc. They aren't confirming if there is an outside to the house. That's not something that are covering in the set, but like the set is going to be taking place all within this big house, which is going to be very interesting to see how they kind of go. I think I heard something like some Stephen King kind of inspired stuff, that kind of stuff in it. So then we've got 2025. So I just want to very, very briefly cover this. So in January, there's going to be Innistrad Remastered, like the previous remastered sets. Q1, that's going to be Codename Tennis. It's a death race, multiplanar twist on the racing genre across 3 different planes. Apparently 2 planes that we've seen before and 1 new plane. Very cool stuff. Mad Maxi kind of stuff there, apparently. Q2 is going to be Ultimate, which is a return to Tarkir. It's going to be dragons, Khans, and more. It's meant to be combining the Khans of Tarkir, the dragons of Tarkir kind of thing into like a big set. Not like a remastered set where it's taking those cards, but like a new set, but it's going to be having both of those kinds of things in it. It will have dragons, apparently. Q2, we've got the Final Fantasy set, so kind of like Lord of the Rings, tentpole set there. We've got the volleyball, which is going to be Q3, space opera. You can see like the aliens here, all taking place in space. If I think of space opera, the first thing I think of is Star Wars, but we'll see how that goes. I'm very interested in that too. And then Q4 is Codename Wrestling, which is a return to Lorwyn. So that's got like, your goblins, fairies, elves, Kithkin, etc. And then sometime in 2025, we've also got the Marvel set. So there's lots of really cool stuff to kind of look forward to next year. 2025 as well looks really cool. As I said, Bloomburrow is probably the set that I'm most looking forward to, but Duskmourn looks amazing as well. There's lots of really, really awesome stuff coming out. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are most excited about. Have a great day and goodbye.